Hello everyone, this is Janet from Mixed Media Mama. Hey, I just want to show you a few things today. And this is for a friend of mine. Her name is Kirsten, and you may know her. She is from Kirsten's Mixed Media Corner. I will link that down below. But I wanted to show you a little thing before I send it over to her. And it is just awesome. The whole thing about this, and this started out as a swap. I thought it would be a really good idea for me to just use up some of the things that were on my table. Very easy, and to make some ephemera for another fellow creative. So here you go, Kristen's, and it was hosted by Marley's of Marley's Designs. I will put all of their links and things below, but let's just jump right on into it. If anybody is like me and making journals, I love the most unique things, and it is so easy to make easy specimen slides. And of course I had some pressed, I'm gonna try to pressed flowers. Here, let me get this under. I had some pressed flowers. There we go, that makes so much difference. From my mother's garden, and so I made a specimen slide using some plastic packaging, and just punched a hole, some old, and it turned out to be just so cute. So cute. This next one, I had a die that this piece right here was from a bigger piece of scrap paper. I had a die to make larger match boxes, and so I did. And I used, and this is just some oxides onto a piece of paper. I cut it out using the die, and all of this was just leftovers. And this was like a little square, and this little arrow is a die from Elizabeth Craft Designs, along with this, I believe. Just a nice little collage. But on the inside, I'm going to open it up first. On the inside, I'm going to do that top first. On the inside, this paper right here is originally from an inside of a book I love, and it was already torn, so of course I had to incorporate that. And the writing behind it was so faint, and it says, "To Mother from Frank," I believe, and had to incorporate a little bit of that writing. I don't know if you can see it, but this little girl picture is a picture. A photograph I had received. Actually, I had bought a huge box of photos, and some of them were really good and some of them weren't. And so I thought that has to be in there. Little film strip, little piece of fabric that I had in my box, and just little pieces. And of course, I had to incorporate my sewing. I love to sew. And then down here, this is where, I'm going to take that little paper clip off. This is where I could, it's just a nice little tuck. And I just had these on hand. They were just literally laying around. Those oxides, and then using Tim Holtz dye. And that is a Tim Holtz paper, and I just used Elizabeth Craft Design dye. And they just slip right on into there. Nice little matchbox. Yep. There we go. Nice little matchbox. I love all of that grunge there. That just makes it so, so pretty. This was so easy. This is an ACT card that I made and out of just some leftover paper. But this is a method that I used, and I love that. Just stamping with some vintage photo oxide and lots of water. And this was a Luise Heinzl method, and I'll try to link that video below. But once again, a authentic photo. I'm going to start from the bottom. Little leftovers. I try to use all of the ephemera in a collection, and this was a leftover piece. And of course, you probably recognize this die. This is a feather die from Tim Holtz, I believe. And I just cut it out of some music sheet, and then I embossed it. You can see the little glaze there. And just a nice little collage. That would be a wonderful little tuck. And of course, this was so much fun. I'm going to start out with this. This background paper is literally, I had so much sometimes, and I just made them into some master boards. I just glued them on, and no thinking. It's kind of a brainless thing, is making a master board. Just glue all of your leftover scraps onto a piece of paper and then cut them out. And so when I cut this out, I sent it through an embossing folder, then inked it, and then I had some a very see-through tissue. It was actually a vintage tissue, and I sewed that on to make a pocket. And that's it. That is it. But I love the versatility. I love the grunge of it. And of course, long time ago, I was so into jelly plate, and this was one of them. Using all kinds, I think these look like maybe Seth Apters, but I'm not sure. Some stencils, some jelly plating through, and then I just made it into a tag. I love that you can see the actual stencil, and it has that white. Oh, I just think that's so cool. So cool. And it's very smooth. There is absolutely no texture on it at all, only visual. And this last one, it is a nice long bookmark, I want to say. It is probably a 7-inch, let me get my ruler here. Yes, a 7-inch by 2 inches. And I just literally collaged on it. The background had a bingo card, and that is all the sprays, all the glimmer you see is from Tim Holtz mica stains, sprays. And then this circle was also a die I cut out of some of the similar paper. But I had to incorporate some fabric there. That is from Tim Holtz. Eclectic, I think. And of course, another authentic picture. And then stamping. So there you go. That was so much fun. Thank you so much, Marlies. It was awesome to do this, and I will see you into the next video. Hope you like it, Kirsten. Take a great time. Have a great time, and take some time out for yourself today. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.